In this video, you're going to learn how to alter one of the scripted patterns that ships with Photoshop to better suit your needs. Open kitchen5.psd. In this file, you see that the hardwood floor leaves something to be desired. There's too much color variation here. We actually see green planks, and there's way too much variation in brightness. There's very bright planks and very dark planks. I'd like to tone that down so there's less variation in the scripted pattern. So to accomplish that, you actually have to edit a file which is on your hard drive. So to do that, switch over to the Finder on the Mac or the Windows Explorer on the PC and navigate to this particular folder right here. And the path on the Mac is as follows. It's the Computer, Hard Drive, Applications, Adobe Photoshop CC, Presets, Deco. On Windows, it's very similar. It starts with C, Program Files, and then you find Adobe Photoshop CC, Presets, Deco. Within the Deco folder, there are a number of scripted patterns. Double-click on Brick Fill, and that should open this automatically in the Extend Script Toolkit. And if it doesn't, this toolkit is available from Adobe free of charge, I believe. This is simply a text file, and so you can edit it in a text editor alternatively. So this script has 4 different variables here that we can alter to affect the way that it works. So the first variable is the offset, and this is the amount of staggering that happens in the brick pattern. I'm going to change that to 0.6. so that the planks aren't staggered right at the midpoint, but they're slightly off of that. And then I don't want to have any spacing between the planks. It's good that there's a 0 here, but you do have that option. The color randomness is too much, and so they say that you can set this between 0 and 1, and the default's 0.1. Well, I want to take that down quite a bit less. I'm going to say 0.01. so that we have very little randomness, but maybe just a touch. And then here we have brightness randomness, and that varies from 0 to 1. I'm going to decrease that as well to 0.1, so it's half as much. Then I'm going to save this with a new name. I'm going to say Save As, and I will call it Wood Floor, and then click Save. So I didn't have to learn anything about programming. I simply had to edit this text file and just make a couple of changes. So it's relatively painless. I'll switch back to Photoshop, and when I do that, I know from experience that the altered script is not going to show up here. We're going to have to quit Photoshop and then relaunch it, and now the script will appear. So I'm going to reopen Kitchen 5, and then I will go ahead and create a new layer right above the pattern layer, and I will use Edit Fill, just as I did before, with the plank pattern, and this time we'll use the wood floor script. Okay. That's much better. We're not getting the weird green hues here. We're getting variation, and the staggering is a little bit more dynamic. So we've customized the brick fill pattern to suit our needs better. And we also need to make it part of this clipping group. So I'm going to throw away this pattern layer from before, rename this pattern, and then create a clipping group by holding down the Option key on the Mac or the Alt key on the PC and clicking right here on the interface between these 2 layers. And finally, I'll use the Move tool and just move this pattern, and then use the arrow keys to nudge it into an aesthetically pleasing position wherever that might be. So there you have it. In this video, you learned how to alter an existing script to suit your needs and then to reapply it in the project.